Hey everybody, we're off of the lake, out of the kayaks, and back in my kitchen. We caught a beautiful largemouth that we're going to turn into dinner tonight. However, I'd like to make a confession. I did not personally catch that fish. You need to head over to Island City Fishing's YouTube channel though to see the catch. This fish, I saw it under my kayak, but it wanted nothing to do with my frog bait. So I directed my husband Eric, who was a little farther away from me, to the spot. He threw his wacky worm and net bass nailed it, and we caught dinner. They have to be 15 inches to keep, and ours was 18, so perfect. We are going to make fillet of largemouth with hot shallot vinaigrette tonight. First thing, obviously, you're going to need is your fish fillets. These are 2 giant fillets that we're going to cut a little smaller to make friable. Then you will need to make your vinaigrette, which will be 4 shallots minced, a 1/4 cup of fresh parsley minced, 1/8 cup of fresh lemon juice, which is 2 tablespoons, 1 tablespoon of balsamic vinegar, and a 1/2 cup of olive oil, plus salt and pepper to season to taste. And then you will need to combine 1 egg with vegetable oil and water to dip your fish fillets in so that you can bread them with some all-purpose flour, 1½ cups of breadcrumbs, a 1/4 cups of minced herbs, which they say marjoram, parsley, or oregano can be used. So tonight we're going to use some parsley and oregano, and then again your fish. Okay, I have chopped the 4 shallots. I have chopped a 1/4 cup of parsley. I have a tablespoon of balsamic vinegar, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, and we're just going to put this all together in a bowl. Add a little pepper, add a little salt, and whisk it together. Then it says to drizzle your 1/2 cup of olive oil in a slow stream and whisk it in. This recipe is, if you follow me at all, and I've talked about the book before, my mother-in-law compiled this recipe book decades ago from clippings out of books and magazines, and she gave it to me as a wedding gift, and we have started to use recipes out of it. So if you're ever in Lockport, Illinois, go up to the Will County Historical Society Museum and give my mother-in-law Sandy a shout out. All right, now this just gets to sit while we move over to the stove and heat some butter to fry our fish. All right, the butter is heating in the skillet. Now I'm going to bread my fish. We've cut it into small enough pieces that it is workable. We're just going to dredge it in some flour. And then rather than dip it in the egg, the recipe says to coat it. This is 1 egg with your 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil and a tablespoon of water. Like that. And then do your breadcrumbs. And as seasoned fish fryers, we know you want to get it nice and coated. And then you just repeat the process. Flour, egg wash, breadcrumbs. And you just keep doing that until all your fish is breaded and ready to go. Our shallot marinade is sitting, our fish is breaded, and you can just barely hear it. Our butter is sizzling. This is 3/4 cups of salted butter. The recipe called for clarified butter. However, I'm in a short time frame, didn't have time to make it, so I had to improvise. Now, what the clarified butter does, it has a higher smoke point to cook the fish quicker. So you just have to watch the butter and make sure you're not burning stuff because it has a lower smoke point. All right, the butter is ready. Now let's go ahead and put our fish in. Side note, as we were breading it, we noticed that the brushing of the egg mixture didn't work because it left too many bare spots that the breadcrumbs didn't stick to. So you need to go back to the tried and true method of dipping it. You may have to make a second batch of egg wash, and that's okay. Are you ready? Let's get to it. And don't overcrowd it. Put a few pieces in. More. The bass itself was 3.5 pounds, so I imagine each fillet was probably a pound, at least. A little less. Let me ask my fish expert here.
1/2 to 3/4 pound.
1/2 to 3/4 pound.
A lot of the weight of a fish is in its head and its internal organs.
Yeah, right, which we don't eat fish heads or fish organs, so.
Fish heads,
Fish heads, roly poly fish heads. If you're from my generation, you'll remember that. So keep an eye on it. You don't want to cook it very long because it is a light fish. Turn it over after a minute or so. You want to get it a nice golden brown. It is after Mother's Day, and if you saw a previous video, I asked for new tongs. We looked for tongs when we were shopping over the weekend and couldn't find any. So we are searching online for a pair that are suitable for my liking and my needs. All right, we're pulling the first batch off. They're nice and golden brown and crispy, not wiggly anymore. Put them on paper towel to drain off the excess. I'm going to add some more butter because, as you can see, it's drying up and I'm getting a lot of smoke. So I'll just put some soft butter for my butter dish in the middle.
And anything ready.
All right. Love that delicious sizzle, the smell of the butter and the herbs. The last batch is ready to come off and be on the paper towel. And we're ready for the vinaigrette. So you've got all this butter and all this brown stuff. So what you're gonna do is, remember this that we made a few minutes ago? Oil, vinegar, shallots, parsley. You're gonna pour that in the hot skillet. Bring that to a boil, which it's looking kind of boily already. And reduce the heat. And then we're just going to simmer that down until the shallots are translucent. Give it a little stir. That's where you really need the smell-o-vision. Butter and balsamic vinegar, parsley and shallots. So again, like I said, be sure to go over to Island City Fishing, my husband, his YouTube channel, and see how we caught these. This was one of 3 really nice large bass he caught. We have 3 bluegill in the freezer from that trip too that will turn into something yummy. And he's got a lot of other cool videos that I'm not in. While that's cooking, I'll show you what I got in my pan over here. Just some simple rice-a-roni, long grain, and wild rice to serve up as a side dish. Ain't it pretty? And all you simply do is drizzle your shallot vinaigrette over your warm fried fish. There you go. Ooh, that's hot. Filet of largemouth bass with hot shallot vinaigrette. Well, everybody, again, thanks for hanging out with me both in the kayak and in my kitchen. I'm Michelle with 1L, and this is Bakes by Vasco. I hope you'll hit like and subscribe, and come back and see what we're up to next time. As always, the best part about cooking or baking is the eating. Mmm. 10 out of 10. See you next time.